As a believer, I failed at not allowing God to take me through the process. I didn't want to suffer. I didn't want to go through. And I was so into myself. When things would happen, I would complain. I would be frustrated. But I wanted the rewards of the end of the process. I want you to listen to this video, and we'll come back and wrap it up, and you tell me what you think.
And do the things that I can as a father, but I've always wanted to be as great as I could be. You know, I never knew what it was I never knew what it looked like, but I knew my craft and I knew my passion for wanting to be great. Yeah. You know, I didn't know what the end result was, and that goes back to what we first talked about when we first started. Was the process. Right. I knew I was in love with the process. And I didn't know what I was going to get out of the process, but all I've seen as I've grown up and when I've played the game of basketball, that when I fell in love with the process, rewards was at the end of the tunnel. And I've never worried about it. Was never the other way around. It was never the rewards are at the end of the tunnel. And then I worry about the process. Sure. It was always about the process.
Your reward was the process.
My reward was the process.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a great example. Your family, the way you've been able to manage both. Your family's helped you.
We are back. I hope that you enjoyed that little segment of LeBron James and Steve Nash interview. It's actually a show that they have that's on Prime Video. But the main point was he loved the process. He was more in love with the process than the results. And I think as believers, people who are trying to grow in Christ, who are trying to become more like Christ, we have to go through the process. And we have to fall in love with the process of becoming more like him. Jesus said, if you don't suffer with me, you won't reign with me. He that does not take up his cross and deny himself is not worthy of me. So I hope this helped. I hope this is one of those things where you can really think about it, meditate on it, and fall in love with the process. This means some days you're not going to be liked. You're not going to be well received. You're going to be rejected. You're going to be despised. But knowing that the reward is at the end, fall in love with the process. Talk to you soon.